You ever have one of those moments where you say one thing, but then you find yourself doing the complete opposite? Yeah, it's a totally human thing, that little gap between who we want to be and, who we actually are day to day. Well, today we're diving into some really ancient readings that hit this problem head on. How do we get our actions to actually line up with what we say we believe?
I mean, really think about it for a second. Is there a gap for you? Because if we're being honest, for pretty much all of us, the answer is a big yes. We say we value patience, and then 5 minutes later we're laying on the horn in traffic. Or we believe in being generous, but then we kind of ghost a friend who needs help moving. It's that tension, right there, that's the starting point for everything we're talking about today.
And this slide just lays it all out, doesn't it? In one column, you've got our stated faith, our ideals, the things we say are most important to us. And in the other column, our daily actions, all those little choices that really make up a life. The Lenten readings we're looking at call this gap what it is: hypocrisy. It's a strong word for sure, but it gets right to the heart of the matter. Okay, so how do we start to fix this? The great news is there's actually a plan, and we're going to start with some incredibly direct, no-nonsense advice from the ancient prophet Isaiah. He doesn't get bogged down in theories, he just gives a super clear, practical call to action. And Isaiah's plan? It's so simple, it's kind of brilliant. It's just 2 steps. First, stop doing the bad stuff. Simple as that. Identify the things in your life that are causing harm to you, to others, and just stop. But that's only half of it. The second step is where the real work begins. You have to learn to do good. And that little word, learn, is key. It tells us that goodness isn't something you just have. It's a skill you have to practice and get better at. Now, following that 2-step plan is absolutely crucial. But it's not the whole story. There's another teacher, Jesus, who comes along and adds this really critical layer of depth. He basically warns us that you can be doing all the right things on the outside, but if your motivation, your why, is all wrong, you're missing the entire point. And that brings us right back to this really big danger. See, hypocrisy in this context isn't just about what you do versus what you say. It's also about doing good things for the wrong reasons, like for applause or to look good or to feel superior to other people. It's the huge difference between being genuinely kind and just putting on a show of kindness. So what's the antidote? Humility. Humility is the key that unlocks everything else. It's what shifts our focus from, hey, how do I look doing this, to, hey, how can I actually help? It makes sure our actions are coming from a real desire to do good, not a desire to get noticed for it, whether anyone is watching or not. Okay, so we've got Isaiah's very practical plan for our actions, and we've got Jesus' deep dive into our inner motives, into humility. So, how do we actually put these 2 powerful ideas together? Well, that's exactly where the season of Lent comes in. It's set up as this perfect, dedicated time to do this exact kind of work. At its heart, this is what Lent is all about. You can think of it like a 40-day spiritual workout. The goal isn't just about giving up chocolate or something. It's about using this time for a very specific purpose: to purify our actions, to check our motives, and to really intentionally close that gap between what we claim to believe and how we actually live our lives. The prayer that goes along with these readings uses this really beautiful, powerful image: being washed clean. Now, this isn't about trying to erase your past, it's all about renewal. It's about stripping away all that hypocrisy, all those self-serving motives, so that what's left behind is something real, something humble, and something true. So, when you boil it all down, the goals for this journey are pretty clear. First, purify our actions. Second, get those actions to actually match our faith. And third, humble ourselves. And it's that last part, humbling ourselves, that prepares us for the real endgame.
Which brings us to the big question. What's all this for? I mean, why go through all the hard work of self-reflection and trying to be more humble? What's the final destination here? What does it really mean to be a true follower of these teachings?
Here it is. The whole point of all this inner work is to get us ready for outer work. The reason we try to align our beliefs and our actions isn't just so we can feel good about ourselves. It's so that we can genuinely and effectively serve other people. According to these texts, this is where it all leads, to humble service. And so we end right back where we started, with a question. If the whole entire goal is humble service, what does that actually look like for you? In your family? At your job? In your neighborhood? That's the challenge that this Lenten journey leaves us with. It asks us to take all of this thinking and reflecting and actually do something with it. So what does it truly mean for you to serve?